Okay, this is just going to be a quick instructional video. Well, maybe not so much instructional, but just basically show you how I've wired up an LED light strip onto my full drive ARB awning. The light strip I got just off eBay. There's plenty of people there that sell them. This one is a RGB light strip, so it does the red, green and blue. A couple of reasons I went for this one was because it comes with a remote, so you can actually dim the colours on it. So if you've got the white on at night and it's too intense and too bright, you can actually dim it down, and it's just a lot more comfortable on the eyes. Also, if you've got kids with the colours, you can flash it and strobe it, and the kids get pretty excited about that. So first of all, what I've got is a little fuse box just down in a compartment on the side. That's where I've got my power from. That obviously connects to my main battery under the bonnet. If you've done it properly, you might have an auxiliary battery. You would actually run it from there, so that you wouldn't be draining your cranking battery. But all I've done, I've just ran a 2-wire cable from there. The positive connects up to your little fuse box, and the negative is connected in behind here with the other negatives, which are just connected to part of the chassis, so that it's earthed out back to the battery. So from there, I've ran a positive cable, or the 2-wire cable from there, around in front of my drawer system, and then around into this compartment here, which I've got my little helper. Just taking that off. Good work, mate, thank you. So what I've done is the positive comes up in here, and it actually joins onto one of the terminals on this switch here, which then, coming off the other side, it actually connects onto a 2-wire cable, very similar to this one here, which comes with the LED light kit, and it's just got your positive and negative, your red and your black bare ends on it. So the positive side of this has connected to the light switch, and you just use like a spade type automotive terminal to splice onto the back of that, and the negative was soldered or joined with a joiner from an automotive connector onto the negative of that cable that ran from the fuse box around over to this side. From there, this connector then plugs straight into the white control box, which I've got sitting up under here. I've just siliconed it up under there. Silicon seems to work pretty well. It holds things in place quite well. I've been full driving a couple of times with this, and it's still solidly stuck up under there. So from the control box, you've got 2 cables coming out of your control box. One is your infrared receiver, and what I've done with that is I've just stuck it onto the inside of the window frame there, so that I can still open the windows, and it's not going to pull or move. Again, been forward driving a couple of times, it's still there, and that was just stuck on with some hot glue from a hot glue gun. The other cable the other cable coming off of the control box is this white cable here. It's a 4-wire cable because it actually controls the signal or the power going to the LED light strip. So what you've got is you've got one positive wire going up to the LED light strip, and then you've got your 3 negatives coming back from your red, green and blue, and the control box just earths out the negative colour that you want to activate. So if you've got white on, it earths out all 3, and the red, green, blue colours make the colour white. Otherwise, yeah, depending on what colour you want, you just use your remote to select that, and the control box does the rest. But as you can see, there's a range of different colours. Again, the reason I went for this was you've got your colours that you can dim and brighten. Also, these orangey, yellowy colours here are good, especially if yeah, somewhere where there might be some mozzies or flies or that kind of stuff. And apparently the yellow type lights aren't supposed to attract them as much as the white light. But so from here, because this cable wasn't long enough to get from inside all the way out and up to the beginning of the LED light strip, what I've done is I've cut off the connectors that, one sec, I've cut off the connectors that came with the LED light strip, and I've just put my own waterproof type. It's a Nava connection, commonly used with like spotlights and that kind of stuff where it might be up under the bonnet and it needs to be watertight. It is probably a bit big and bulky. You can get smaller ones, and if it is going to be housed in something like that, you'd quite easily get away with that. So I have joined my cable, which I keep coiled up down here. I've joined the end of my cable up to this white cable, and you can either use, again, the automotive joiners and then just wrap some tape around it, or what I did, I actually soldered them and then insulated each single wire, and then put another lot of insulation over the top of the white, where the white wire and the black wire join. The black cable I used is again just some, if we can read that, Nava trailer cable. It's 5 core, but you could use any sort of 4 core type automotive cable. So I've just basically joined colour for colour, and then I've put the male plug on the end. This way it's not hardwired. I sometimes take my roof rack off and on, so I didn't want to have it all hardwired. So that's why I went for this option. There is probably a slightly easier way, which I'll explain in a minute, but of doing it, where you don't have to run a 4-wire cable. So yeah, all I do is take this 4-wire cable and plug that in up there, and like I said before, I've got the switch here which I can isolate the power going to the control box. If I turn that on, it's got a little LED indicator on it as well, so it tells me that there's power going to it. For whatever reason, if I did leave it hardwired for a period of time, and everything, the awning and everything's packed up, then I know that the LED light strip is on while everything is packed up. So that's on, and I find the remote. now that I've flicked the switch on, we've got the LED light strip working. Now it kind of looks like there's two LED light strips there. There's not. It actually is only one. The other's just the reflection off the top of the aluminium bit there. So it is only one LED light strip, and it works quite well. It does throw out quite a bit of light, and again that's where the remote control comes in handy. You can actually dim that light right down, so that it's sort of just on it, or you can, as I said before, it's got the sort of that orange and yellowy type colour. You can change it, and that there still throws out plenty of light if you've got a little kitchen set up under your awning, or just a table with your drinks and stuff on it. Then that's plenty of light there. There is, like I said, another way, which is probably an easier way of connecting it up, and that is using a cable similar to this, which has got, you could either have a cigarette type plug, or again this is a Nava plug. I'm not exactly sure what it's called, but it's slightly smaller. You could put some of these auxiliary sockets, or one of these auxiliary sockets. Again, you'd wire it from your fuse box over to the side where your awning is, and you could put, if you've got a draw system, you could just mount a socket in there, or even inside, or up on your inside panelling there, and then just use one of these type cables, just a two wire cable. You could plug that into the socket, and what you could do is actually mount, instead of mounting the control box inside, you can mount the control box up on the inside of your awning. If you've got somewhere, it's a bit glary, but if you've got somewhere like that to mount it to, you could mount it in there, and then you would have your LED receiver on the inside, cable tied here somewhere. The control box would be in there, and then all you would do is, with this other end of the cable that you've got mounted to your socket in here, that can just basically plug up into your control box, and you control everything like that. That by far is probably a lot easier, especially if you don't have crimping tools and stuff for automotive connectors, or soldering irons, and heat shrink, stuff like that. So I'm not sure if I said earlier, but the light strip was bought just off eBay, and it comes in all different sorts of lengths. I bought a 5 metre length, and just cut it to the right size. So that's pretty much about it. Yeah, if you've got any questions, then by all means just flick us a message, and I'll try explain it a little bit clearer.